Live. All right, we're go. There's button just said now streaming. So what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Oh,
It's been a while. We're back.
it has
Back.
been. Life sucks.
Well, that's not true. Life's cool. It's been crazy busy lately. There's been a lot of news though. That's the only thing. So it's been crazy. It's hard for us to get on. But we've been good. We've been good keeping up with everybody though. X has been flying. A lot
Dude,
of
you are
interaction on X. It's been good with the news.
you are posting
So
things on X that are creating wildfires.
I try.
I mean,
That's
your
that's the whole point, man.
your that Life is Strange update. I'm pretty sure you just upset everyone.
Well, well, no, I actually thought I was going to do that because if you look at all the complaints, I did that really fast, like almost immediately after I finished the game. And to be fair, I finished the game like late at night and it was like almost midnight. I'm like, you know what? I want to do it now, but I was so freaking tired. I'm like, I can't. I'm just going to do it the next day. So I went to sleep and I got up and I did it and I uploaded it right away. And when I went to share it, I was looking at all the trending for Life is Strange and everyone feels the same, or not, majority of the people feel the same way with how the story went. It's messed up.
I mean, like, I didn't play it. I will probably never play it. But from what you were saying, that sounds like a whole lot of crap.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's messed up. I mean, if you look at it, it. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. If you're not going to play it, it's going to be hard. But you have to look at everything that basically the entire franchise, everything that's been going on with it, the entire history of it, of the game, and what they did in this game compared to the story of the other games. It just screwed everything all up.
It seems that way.
So yeah, totally.
Like,
Did you see the new a lot of updates though coming out with games, which have been good. You see the update for Starfield?
I saw a couple things about it. Like, you said something about a new car.
Yeah, you got a new car. It's called the Diemog, Diemog. It's a buggy, the same as the first one we got, except this one's covered. It's enclosed. It's not like an open air rally buggy. It's got a rocket launcher instead of a gun on it, so that's good. And there's a new mission too. Same way it's through and this one is through Aquila City.
Okay.
It's called I can't the perfect plate, I think it's called. Oh, no, the perfect recipe. And you find it's a new character that's added into the game, and he's a mechanic that apparently like used to love to cook, but he can't cook anymore because he's a mechanic or some shit. And you have to find this recipe book and wipe out all these guys while doing it. But one thing they added now, and those are all I think those are free. I'm not sure, but they're the actual Bethesda ones in the creations menu. If you download like where the mods are, you have to download them through there. But if you get they changed a lot of the things with mods to where now a lot of the achievements wouldn't work
Okay.
when you would put mods in, which I hate, but they did that. If you had them enabled, so if you just disable them and start playing again, you could rack up achievements as long as you didn't get them already. There's no retroactive. But what they did now is there's like certified creators now that are working like independent people like streamers that are like certified by Bethesda
Okay.
that if you that all their mods are going to be achievement friendly.
Oh, that's
But if you yeah, but the thing is if you've already done what you needed to do to unlock the achievement, it won't unlock retroactively even if you use the mod. Like if you use the mod that is now achievement friendly, but it used to not be, it won't unlock it. You have to like do a new save to set it up again, which is
oh,
fair.
yeah, that's fair.
But I just don't like the fact that they had that from the beginning.
If they were gonna add it, they should have had it.
Because when after I got all the achievements regular before creations ever came out, and then when the DLC came out before that, before Shattered Space came out, I had it and I was set it up to where I downloaded a mod to upload my carry weight. So I could carry unlimited amounts. It was like 2 million, so I was never going to get that. So I could fast travel whenever. But that alone also knocked out your achievements. So before the DLC started, I just disabled that and started playing, so I was able to get all these demons.
I mean, honestly, carry weight in video games always sucks, especially like it's a sci-fi game. I mean, they don't have like some anti-grav backpack.
They have the backpacks, but it's all like jetpacks to get around.
Yeah,
So, but it's a good update, and there are a lot more mods now. Like even, and some of the mods, like the cosmetic mods, don't alter achievements. They never did, but the ones that give you, like 10,000 times XP, those do.
that's fair.
Yeah.
You know, because if I shoot something and somebody worked 20 hours or 30 hours to get theirs, and I'm like, hold on, I got this mod. Pow, I shot an ant. I'm good.
Well, that's why everyone thought I had that mod when I was streaming one time, the DLC, because I'm like level 300 and something. And one of the achievements for the base game is to get to level 100. And it takes forever. Like, if you're just going to play the game and start killing random enemies, you're never going to get there. It's like it's sheer, the amount of time it would take would be insane because with the XP you need at the higher levels. But all I did was I followed the guide for the crafting. And when you build the outpost and all the containers, you farm all the metal, and you from the machines, all the extractors from the machine,
Yeah.
like nickel, cobalt, whatever it is, and you farm so much of it. And if you do it on Venus and you sleep, it's something like every hour on Venus is like 2 days or something in like regular Earth time because there's each planet has a different time cycle. It's not like 24 hours is 24 hours.
Right.
So 24 hours on Venus in the game is something like 2 weeks in the main area of the game. And that's like the time they use. So when if you sleep for 24 hours, it takes like 20 seconds in real time. And you wake up and you're overloaded with stuff. And then every time you build, like, you just keep building items and you get 10 XP for every one you build. But every time you sleep for 24 hours, you gain like 5,000 items and you only need one and one of it. So you just like rapid build batches of 99, 100 at a time. And it's 1,000 XP, 1,000 XP, 1,000, and you just keep doing it. So you do that for a couple hours and you're going to jack yourself all the way up.
I mean, that's fair. Like,
Yeah.
it's it's an exploit, not a
I
cheat.
mean, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not even expo. I mean, it's part of the game. So you're not cheating. I mean, that's literally what the game was meant to do. I've seen people in that game that have made these outposts. Like I saw one guy, he made like a whole fucking city, like a legit city. He made a house, and every item in there was hand placed. And I didn't get what he meant. And what it meant is he had everything in his inventory, and if he had like a cup on his inventory, he wanted to put on like a kitchen table. He would drop it and pick it up and like physically drag the cup to the spot he wanted to take. Like that's just way
That's
you get way too much time involved for me,
I
man. Like I just
I
want to play the game.
I don't have that kind of time on my hands.
Yeah, it can't happen, man. But I didn't do the mission. I checked out the car, which is pretty cool. Only for like 10 minutes. I really don't have time, so I'm gonna do the mission maybe tonight. I might jump on Stellar Blade instead, or Stalker 2. But
Yeah, yeah, I'm probably
dude, Stalker 2. Have you played it yet?
not yet.
I played it on Game Pass. First of all, I was surprised because remember it's only on PC and Xbox, and they've already in a less than 2 days they've already sold sold physical selling units, not Game Pass, over 1 million units.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, that's total units, not counting the people that played it for free like me on Game Pass. It has 100 and I think its peak on PC was just about 118,000, which is, blows Veilguard out of the way by like 50%. That had like 72.
More than
So
that.
that's almost it's like a 50% increase then over Veilguard. Um, Nowhere near Dragon's Dogma that had like 300,000, but um, it's people are talking about how the game's buggy, like how GSE World made it buggy, but soccer games are buggy. But I've read a lot of the reviews, and a lot of the reviews, if you play the game, don't read any reviews of it before. If you're gonna play, don't read any reviews. Play the game, and then read the reviews, and you'll see that a lot of people that did the reviews are like rating the game like it's because it's first person, rating the game like it's Call of Duty, but it's more like a single player Escape from Tarkov because you have wait. There's no regen health. Like if you just go in trying to kill people, you're gonna get fucking wiped. Like you have to peek around corners. If you just open a door, you're gonna get killed. Like there's a mechanic where you could actually peek if a door's closed, peek into a door, see if anyone's there, and then fully open it. You can peek around corners. You can't carry, unlimited ammo. You have to find ammo,
Right.
and if you just use your ammo on like some bullshit enemy because you want to like see how this new gun works, that's cool. But if you run out, you're done. There's not like Call of Duty where there's just ammo all over the place and every single enemy drops ammo. Because the enemies, remember, in Stalker are like mutants. They're like monsters, zombies almost. There's like weird creatures. They don't carry guns. So it's like it's kind of like a survival game, but it's like an inventory management game. And there's a weight limit. There's a carry limit. And there's no leveling in this game. There's no like XP gets you levels.
Okay.
There's nothing like that. The only way to level up is by like exploring and finding new gear.
Okay, that's not bad. Like honestly, that's
Yeah.
much more like realistic.
Yeah. And you can't like you have to grade the game on that level because I saw people complaining about it and I'm like but you're grading the game based on like how it's not supposed to be. Like it's like grading Astrobot on having no multiplayer. Like it's not a multiplayer game. Like you have
Right.
to grade it on what it is.
Why isn't
And
Astrobot more like Super Mario 64?
yeah, exactly. And the bugs, I mean, first of all, if you've never played the Stalker games, Stalker games are like known for funny bugs
Yeah.
in it. Um, but it's again, we all know why it's getting crapped. I mean, Spider-Man 2 had bugs out the ass when it first came out. Nobody said shit about it, but Stalker has bugs, and it's like the biggest story
I mean,
because it's on Xbox, not
let's be
PlayStation.
honest. Every open world game is gonna have bugs.
Right, and the thing is, you remember this game was made in a like a
In a war
too
zone.
many people use too many people use the word literally when it's not literally, right? Which I hate. But for this case in point here, this game was made in a literal war zone.
Yeah.
So, and they did everything they could. Like the last few weeks behind the scenes, I didn't realize this. It came out after that they were like on their own. The game wasn't out yet. They were like doing update patches, like huge patches, two or three a week, try to get it going. And okay, it has a couple bugs. Who cares? But the people are hearing that the game has too much more bugs, but they're not really playing it. And if you play it, the game is beautiful. Like, dude, it's scary as shit too. Like, which I was surprised because if you play in the dark when like it's when it's dark in the game, and you play in like if you're dark in your house with headphones on, the audio is crazy because when you're walking through the bushes, you hear like the leaves crinkle and then everything. It's like really it's really cool, and it's a lot more profound when it's dark. It's and the daytime silhouettes it's a beautiful game. It's like some quirky bugs, but everyone's making it sound like it's almost damn near unplayable, and it's nowhere near that.
Yeah, I never understand. I don't understand people like. It's the same thing as with people when they go back to like. They try to say Witcher 3 was as buggy as Cyberpunk. Which Witcher 3 was a buggy game when it came out. But everybody tries to make. Well, I hit one bug, so this game's unplayable. It can never be played
Yeah,
again.
Cyberpunk's a little crazy though. That was like
Well,
that was like almost shut down. Almost it was so bad.
yeah. But Cyberpunk's a very extreme case. But like, Witcher 3. What the heck was the other game that came out? Because I remember hearing complaints about Spider-Man 2 having bugs,
Yeah.
and it's an open world game. If it doesn't have
Mhm.
bugs, like, do you realize how much it would cost just to bug test a game that much?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, like, well, just listen to community notes and patch when you go if it's worth
Yeah, I
patching.
don't care. I mean, as long as it's not game breaking to me, or something like Arkham Knight on PC,
Oh
or
yeah,
that old like uh, it. Remember Assassin's Creed Unity? It looked like the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade melted face guy,
Well, there was that.
and that was a funny one too.
My fucking when I played that game, the
But
frames would just plummet.
hey, look at Master Chief Collection. When Master Chief, the whole collection came out, that was almost like
So
almost actually unplayable.
you know what the worst part is? That year, you know what two games are the most excited to play that year?
What Master Chief Collection and what?
Assassin's Creed Unity,
Oh,
and
okay.
they
They
came
came
out the
out the
same
same
day.
year. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
That was what 2014.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember I went with my
they came
ex
out the same
girlfriend now.
day.
Yeah, I believe they came out the same day or within like a week of each other.
I don't remember that. There was
Yeah,
something else.
I picked them both up, and Assassin's Creed, I was my frames dropped to like single digits,
Mm.
jumping off a building. I'm like, this is making me sick. And then I couldn't connect to multiplayer servers in the MCC.
Did you see the? Speaking of Assassin's Creed, I wasn't gonna bring it up. I just forgot of it until you just mentioned it. Did you see kind of like the uh
The 60
I don't
FPS
know how to.
4K update.
Well, no, for Shadows coming
Oh
up.
no, I haven't
The
seen anything for
first,
Shadows.
like the first stories were like how the developers like how it's the worst thing they've ever seen. Like the actual developers were
I
saying this, and and then like a couple days later, that was starting to get traction, and then a couple of days later, I don't know what happened, but it was like out of nowhere, like streamers. So I don't know if they were getting like prompted to say something or not, but the streamers like, oh, it looks great. Check out like the new jumping mechanics and everything. Like all these weird things started popping out, and they were just kind of like overshadowing the developer comments. But I don't know. I'm still worried about that.
I will play it when it's on a nice deep sale and I forget all about the
Yeah.
controversies. Like,
Well, look at Outlaws. Do you see what Outlaws did? There was people were so mad about the bugs and the stealth mechanics that they removed the mandatory stealth from the games now.
which thank goodness they did. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, thanks Ubisoft. You took a game that looked awesome and you're making it awesome.
Yeah, because they never brought that up. Like when they showed gameplay at the beginning of the in any of those deep dives or any of the award shows when they showed gameplay videos, they never showed anything that indicated like where you needed to do so much stealth or if you like literally auto fail the mission.
Right.
And that was like a surprise because if they did, people obviously would have flipped out because they flipped out about it
Like,
on launch and they finally changed it.
thank goodness. Because, like I said,
Oh,
I played it. It's a cool game. It just needed this push along, like which it should have had in 3 weeks of development after or before it came out. It should have just been delayed a month,
oh, absolutely.
but
But
they didn't,
yeah,
and
I'm curious. I don't know what's going to happen with Shadows, man.
I don't know. I'm hoping they just are like, well, we delayed it. Let's make it so this bed doesn't have a bunch of shit in it
Mm.
in the shape of a samurai and ninja game.
Do you think it will have more players at its peak than Veilguard did? It was like 75 or something like that,
I think
77.
so, because Veilguard got fucking hammered.
I do only because Assassin's Creed has got such a huge fan base compared to
Dragon
Dragon
Age.
Age,
Yeah.
but I still, it'll have more. I don't think it'll have too much more,
I mean,
especially on PC. I have to see.
let's see how hard Asmund attacks it, because boy did he go after Veilguard.
Yeah, and like, but like what he got like dropped from sponsors for like literally saying the truth,
Yeah.
which pisses. But the thing about Veilguard was, well, one of the things about Veilguard, I should say, is the way they marketed it.
Mm-hmm.
Where after launch, so with the player peak, they were saying about how 75,000, 78,000 players peak on PC, and how EA's and BioWare's biggest PC launch for RPG ever. And people are like, oh, it's the biggest RPG launch ever. We're like, no, 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 no. It's EA's biggest launch ever. Like, first of all, look, just this year
I
alone,
think they
Dragon's Dogma 2 had over 300,000, and it wasn't even close.
no, like that's not, dude.
It's
You're looking
four
at
times, more than four times, five times the people. It's almost 350. It was like four and a half times the amount of people.
also if you want to talk about like biggest RPG launches on PC, are we limiting that to Steam, or are we gonna start talking about like World of
Yeah.
Warcraft?
Yeah, and it's a bigger, well, as far that's more like an MMO. I'm talking about like an
Right.
action type of game like that is, and that's the same exact type of game, Dragon's Dogma and Dragon Age.
Right.
There's really no difference. and it destroyed it. And the character creator on Dragon's Dogma was probably the best character creator ever, and that was not just me. That's just everybody saying it. Like
Yeah,
people posting their things and sharing their characters all with everybody on Reddit and with the sliders, exactly how to make the character. You can't do that on
dude.
Veilguard. Veilguard's big shit was fucking pronouns. Who cares?
Dude, fucking your pronouns. Accept me. Like preaching to you about how to apologize for using the wrong pronouns. God,
Yeah,
just thinking
there's
about that
there's like
game
a
gives me a headache.
5 minute. There's a I thought it was a joke, but the whole scene in that game is like 5 minutes long on how it's like on how you're like an idiot for calling like a tranny the wrong name or something like that.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
yeah pass. Like hard pass on that video game.
Yeah. Seriously, well, talk about hard pass like a pivot. What about Stellar Blades update?
I mean,
Like,
so you can take the blindfold off. I asked you the other day about that. You can.
well, it's not a blind. Isn't I'm surprised because it's not a blindfold. It's a visor. Don't all those androids like have to wear that? Like near Automata, don't all those
And
model androids
dude,
wear
it's
that?
literally just like it's a blindfold. You can see it tied up behind her. It's just a black cloth around her head.
I know you can take the skirt off
You take the skirt
and
off,
everything.
and the like blindfold is just because the blindfold's actually a
Yeah.
what the hell's the thing? A storytelling device. It's a physical thing that's supposed to let you see.
Right. Yeah. It's like a projection visor or some shit.
Well, no, because so it's actually like. Did you play the game? Did you ever play Near
What near
Automata?
Automata?
Yeah.
Yeah, like not a lot of it though, but yes.
Okay, so the story is she basically follows orders blindly. That's why she's wearing a blindfold.
Okay.
That was Yoko Taro's thing.
I I love the update with the camera with the not just the photo. The photo mode
Where
is
she'll kick it.
hysterical. And well, there's two. Yeah, that the kick is the best because when I got the skin suit, I was playing and I was playing on one of the harder difficulties. And if you have a shield in the game that gets depleted before your health goes down,
Mm.
but obviously the trade off with the skin suit is you get to see what she looks like, but there's no shield. So it's block or you're getting health knocked off right off the way. So you're kind of like losing all that shield. Like you don't have any of those free hits from the shield. But now I use like just one of the other like skimpy ass outfits, and I get my shield back, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But I was taking pictures of it, and I was sending it. I think I was sending it to you, buddies that haven't played the game, and they're like, "What the hell game is this?" I'm like, "That's Stellar Blade," and you can zoom right in with the camera, like right underneath her, and stare straight up at her. But if you do that now, he like kicks the camera and like sends you away with the new update. It's pretty funny.
I love it. I love little things like that, dude. That game's
Yeah.
uh that is I gotta keep digging in. That game's so fucking good.
But dude, now I'm surprised it hasn't gotten more traction because even though I think the photo update's been out like 2 days, like I think it's 2 days. It, but now, you find the soda cans in the game,
Yeah.
and every time you find the soda cans, she does like some weird animation, it's like, "Ah," right, and she points
Yeah,
it,
very like
and
anime.
like that anime soundy voice, right? So now what they do is they have um, the photo mode, and her hand is like when you hold the soda can, it's like this,
Yeah.
right? Right. But there's a photo mode with like an animation of holding like a visualization of her holding the photo can, the soda can, but it's not actually in her hand, and she makes like funny faces. So there's literally like pictures of her on like X and everything, and people sharing it where she has like her hand like this, and she's like, and it looks like she's holding a dick in her mouth right next to her mouth. It's so funny.
Dude, like I love Korea. Not so
Yeah,
big.
dude. Eastern developers can never, bro.
Oh, dude, forever. Because, dude, even like Dragon's Dogma's fucking character creator. I was gonna say it's an older game, but like Street Fighter Six has a super deep creator too, and like just Capcom's just on that ball. I really hope Monster Hunter Wilds has that deep of a creator.
Yeah, it's one of the. It's kind of funny. Monster Hunter Wilds. It's like one of the listed. It has no chance in the category of like
No,
most anticipated game because I don't think there's a person.
GTA Six
The
is on that
only
list.
people. That's it. I think the monster. I even think the creators of the other games nominated for most anticipated game with are still gonna. They're not even gonna vote for their own game. I think they're still gonna vote for GTA 6.
I vote for Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm not really that excited for GTA Six.
It's That's, I mean, it's one of those where like, you know what, you'll vote for it because, hey, you know what, everyone's gonna vote for GTA 6, so I'll throw a vote this way. Like that's
Okay.
usually what I see people doing.
Like, dude, because you're talking that category is Death Stranding 2, which, sure, maybe some people are excited for. I'm a giant Kojima fan, and I'm still just kind of like, can you add more tactical espionage action?
Yeah, and I never played Death Stranding, and I was gonna play it on Xbox. I when it just came, it's on sale for $20, so it just released, and I can't do it. I got two other games, and I've seen gameplay, and it's just I like fall asleep watching the boring ass walking on it. It's
Yep.
too much with that stupid
Dude,
ladder, and
it,
it's just crazy.
it's cool. It's got a bunch of cool ideas. When you can actually shoot a gun, it's cool. The BTs are cool when you run into them. The story is fucking deep, crazy, everything you expect from a Kojima game.
Right.
But the majority of the gameplay is just like, you're walking along. You gotta put a ladder
Mm,
down. Maybe somebody in the community put a ladder down. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, yeah, it'd be fucking nice. But I had to hope I got on a server with somebody's actually nice.
mm. The Speaking of Game Awards, the top six. I mean, well, do
Oh, I got the
let's
categories
do
pulled up already.
yeah. Like, I got some of them. I'm scrolling through them, but if you got them all, let's start with Game of the Year. Just the six obviously nominated for Game of the Year, and there's controversy around all of them. Astrobot, Black Myth, Elden Ring DLC, Final Fantasy Metaphor, Final Fantasy Rebirth Metaphor, and Balatro. Now, Balatro is a card game. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
And Elden Ring DLC pisses me off because
it's DLC.
everyone's saying they change. It's a DLC. Just make a category for best DLC.
So,
You already have one for best ongoing game. Make one for best DLC. And everyone was saying like, oh, they didn't change the rules. They did because
they,
it wasn't always available. And people were saying, oh, it was always the rule, but they just didn't nominate Phantom Liberty last year. Which they said that initially, but if you looked, it wasn't true because people went on the website and found that they went on the Wayback Machine, where you could like see how every website's changed
yeah,
for the Game Awards, and it was changed on the 15th. It was changed like 2 days or categories came out on the 18th. So 3 days before, it was changed on the 15th to allow, like, how the awards were decided, to allow DLC to be added. So it wasn't on there last year.
right. So I'm going to say I'm of two minds because one, it just shows how fucking dry this year has been for games. And
I Okay, well, go ahead. No, what was your number
so
two?
my other point is just like I understand Elden Ring has this huge, massive fan base. I'm part of it. I love Elden Ring, but it's still fucking DLC. Just throw Elden Ring in best ongoing.
But that's the thing, and I don't think it's dry. There's other games that could have been nominated. You could have threw Stellar Blade in there
Yeah,
for Game of the Year. You could have put,
I mean,
I was
we
going to say
both know
Black
why
Myth.
they won't.
Yeah, exactly. But you could put that. You could have put Warhammer, Space Marine 2 in there.
Oh, dude,
You could
absolutely,
have put like a dragon in there. You could have put any number of things. Dragon's Dogma 2, that wasn't in there.
dude,
It had more players than almost everybody combined, with the exception of Black Myth, right? And I they
dude.
did it, I think,
So
only because I know it's Jeff Keighley doesn't make the nominees, the people do
right,
it. He makes the rules. So
right,
he makes the rules so the people that can vote can to
but
drive them towards the game he wants. So yeah, he's not like he's indirectly picking the games. Like it's just like a freaking like beat off From Software again.
yeah, that's literally what this feels like. And I heard a counterpoint that I sort of agree with. Because like making a category for for best DLC, can you really fill that with six nominees every year? Because that now has to be a category every year. But also like
Sure.
just don't include it. Just be like honorable mention. We can't include the Elden Ring DLC, but we all know it was fucking great, right? That's all I needed.
And I mean, it could have been anything. Like this year, think about it. It could have been Erdtree. It could have been Starfield DLC.
Yeah,
There's other games that have smaller deals. It doesn't have to be a huge 30-hour DLC. Why
well,
just
like
because it was a big game? And the thing is, y- any game that needs another game
sorry.
to be able to play shouldn't be nominated. And not only that, you have to play like 20 hours of the first game before you can even jump in.
Yeah,
That's like nominating Shattered Space DLC for Starfield for Game of the Year. Like you can't. You need to be at like at least level 35 to to
like
play it.
the thing is,
And I
uh,
love it. I'm not going to say it's nominated for Game of the Year, but I mean
right?
it should be best DLC nominated for DLC then.
Honestly, like they could have put like any number of DLCs on there, and I would have been upset about it because it's DLC. It's not a full game.
Mhm.
It, like Phantom Liberty deserved to be on this list then. Fucking Witcher
I'm,
3's DLC back then.
what pisses me off is just like last year. We called it. We were like, look, Starfield's not going to get nominated because it's Xbox only. It's not going to get nominated for Game of the Year. It's going to get screwed, and it did. It's not. It's going to get nominated for best RPG, but it's not going to even get that because Baldur's Gate 3 is going to get. And that's exactly what happened. Like we
Yeah.
called it like months before, right? Before they even
Uh,
listed. Not even, I think it was like September when Starfield first came
yep.
out. Like before Starfield even
Uh,
came out, we called it, and that's what's going to happen. But like guaranteed. I said this as soon as I saw the list. Out of all those 6 games, the one that really should win is Black Myth Wukong.
I mean,
I've played every one of those games with the exception of Balatro. I didn't play Metaphor that long, but the exception of Balatro. And Black Myth was so
you
good,
played
it
Rebirth?
blew a few minutes of it.
Oh, okay.
It it blew every sales record out of the
Yeah.
water. It was getting like 2.8 concurrent million players on Steam. Like you're
Yeah,
talking about
dude.
Dragon Age Veilguard is so good at 70,000. What about 2.8 million? Like it's not even close.
Dude,
It's like
fucking
30 times, 35 times more.
like.
And
Also,
it's an amazing game.
let's be honest. We know Elden Ring's gonna win this. I have no doubt in my mind. Elden Ring, or Black Myth win. I
I don't
kind.
think Black Myth's going to win. I actually don't think um, Elden Ring's going to win this. I think Elden Ring will win something else. I think they're going to give Game of the Year to Astrobot because if you look when this game came out, Jeff Keighley was just freaking beating his meat to this game out of control. Like I get it. It was I platinumed the game. It was a good game. I liked it, but it's a completely different game. It's like putting if you had like best movie category, it's like putting The Godfather and Billy Madison in the same category.
I would vote for Billy Madison.
Yeah, but it's funny, but it's not a better movie. Like it's funnier, it's a different movie, but as far as like actual making movie and cinematics and the
Right.
art, of course, you're not going to compete with it. It's the same,
I'm gonna say I would
it's the
rather
same
watch Billy Madison.
level of thing. Like it's a lot more fun, a lot less frustrating to play Astrobot.
Right.
There are frustrating parts, but it's not like you're whacking through bosses on Black Myth.
But
But Black Myth is just a boss run game. Like there's a great story behind it. It's
a timeless story.
the visuals are absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe it, and I got the good ending, which you got to fight the hardest boss I think I've ever had a fight in any game ever. And I'll admit the only reason, not the only reason I beat it, I would have beat him. It would have taken me a lot longer to beat him, but I used the one like the one glitch in the game that allows you to keep like unlimited freeze the guy, where you didn't have to like wait for it to like your the cooldown. There was no, it basically took away all your cooldowns. So I would like freeze him, hit him. He died. Like as soon as he done freeze, I'd freeze him, and I still died like twice doing that because that's how crazy hard it is. He's so fast. Um, but it's everything about that game is good, and I think they'll screw Black Myth Wukong, but give it the best action game because it's nominated for best action.
Oh shit! What else is on the best action category? Because honestly, like, I know my I know my votes on every category is not going to go through. If I get one category, I'll be blown away.
Well, like look at like my favorite one is two of my favorite categories are narrative and games for change. Now, narrative, I got it up now, is Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Silent Hill 2, and Hellblade 2. Now, I've played I didn't play like a dragon, so I can't really do it. But I gave Hellblade 2 a 10.
Yeah.
You know, remember when that came out, I reviewed it, and it was the story and one other aspect of it were some of the most incredible stories and the other that I've ever experienced in the game. Like it's along the lines of like that original Life is Strange X, where it's more of like and it's a game, but it's also an experience,
Yeah.
right? It's not just a game. And like for best narrative, the story, especially from like the story and the mental health aspect of it, I it has to win. Like like the other games have like good stories, but they're like game centric stories. You know, they're like you could tell they're obviously fake, right? The Hellblade 2 story, it's yeah, it's a fake story, but the premise behind it is real. Like the mental health aspect is real. Like that shit really happens to people. Like before you start the game, you could watch like a 20-minute video on like the background of the people that deal with the actual fucked up problems in their head that Senua deals in the game. And it's I watched the whole thing. It was crazy. Like they show people walk around like think people are there and they're not. Like they see like literally see ghosts and it's insane. Like that's why it was so good to me. I have to win.
I mean, once again, it's a category where my pick will not win. Like a
Well,
Dragon will
you
not win
picked like a
this.
dragon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I think that should win. To be, I don't think it will. I think they might give it to Rebirth. But again, like to me,
I'm
that's kind of lame. Like
not going to
you're
lie to
giving
you.
best narratives to a game that's already been out.
So,
It's the same
Rebirth,
story.
Rebirth, and the changes it makes to the story of Final Fantasy VII are amazing. Don't get me wrong. It still shouldn't be on this list. Silent Hill
No.
2 and the things it does are great. It should not be on this list.
And Silent Hill 2, what pisses me off about that game is the best thing about the original Silent Hill 2 is the fog. That's what made it so scary. They took away the like not being able to see your character, not knowing if like a guy's going to jump out at you, right? But they took that away in the remake. They made the fog more in like the background, and whenever it would move with you. So if you would walk into the fog, that's the background. It's not like now you're in it. It would just keep moving. It would be like the carrot and the stick. It would just keep being ahead of you, and it took away from the whole premise of the game. I didn't like it.
Like, what's funny is that fog became the premise of the game, even though it was actually just a trick so they could have a bigger environment and load okay on the PS.
Mhm.
What was that, the PS2 at the
Yeah,
time?
but like again, like art direction. How how are you going to nominate Astrobot for best art direction? I could see the other games, the other ones in there. The one game I never played, Neva, but you got Metaphor, Elden Ring, and Black Myth. Okay, I could see those games. But Astrobot, like, how is like you're just throwing it in there, and it's got the most nominations. I think you got the most of everything of every game. It got 6 nominations.
Like, just
Like, give me a break. The other one now, score and music, that's going to be hard. I've Stellar Blade is absolutely incredible.
for me,
The music on that is beautiful, but I'm sure they're going to give it the reverb.
I actually voted for Stellar Blade, and that's coming from somebody like you check my Spotify. I listen to Rebirth soundtrack regularly. Like, I think it's a
Yeah,
gorgeous
and
soundtrack.
the Stellar Blade soundtrack is
It's
so
so
good.
good.
It's like it's that calming.
It's calming until once
It
you hit
reminds me
combat,
of,
though, it still feels right and good.
but like, and I'm not even talking about like the score is good for like the action parts too, but the actual like the OST theme and everything, it reminds me of like the Child of Light theme.
Yeah.
How it's like very mellow and calming and like chilling, and it stands out really well because it's kind of like the polar opposite of what you would expect in that fighting type of
Yeah.
action game.
One of the
I really loved it.
So believe it or not, one of the problems I
I
had
have
with
the
that game when I was working third, I would that
Mhm.
music would just call me and I'd pass the fuck out. Cause like I loved the game, but like this music's just chilling me out. I just boop, I'm
Now
gone.
the one that I think has to win. Where if I would pick like my lock of the awards, that and if it doesn't win, it would be an absolute fucking travesty. Is for best audio design is Hellblade 2. Now remember, just to remember in that category is
Ash,
Hellblade 2, Rebirth, Black Ops 6,
I,
Astrobot again. and
I think
Silent Hill 2.
I think it would go to Hellblade too. Like if you were talking about all
The thing
time
is,
games,
but remember, it has to. Like they created like a brand new audio setup for this game. Now, remember, in when we did the review, I told you like it tells you like we definitely recommend you like it gives you 900 warnings. We recommend you play this game with headphones.
yeah,
Right now, I was playing it anyway because I was playing it with at night. At night, I didn't want to wake up the house, so I'm playing it, and I knew what it was going to be because I played the game before, the first game before.
right.
And when you, I can't, I don't know how they do it, but when you're walking through and you're playing with Senua and she's breathing, and like when you're scared and someone goes
Yeah,
and they do like that shake breathing, you hear that in your thing. And as the character walks, like if she walks from the left or right side of the screen, you hear it phase out of like your left ear and go into your right ear. Like the audio moves with the character. And when she breathes like that, it it sounds like in your head how you breathe. In like when if you breathe like deep breath, you hear yourself breathing, and it sounds like you're breathing when you hear Senua. I don't know how they did it. Like you're listening to a video game character, but it sounds like it's you.
yeah.
Like it's one of the best. Or I don't know how they did it. I loved it. The best audio I've ever played in a video game. It has to win. I don't. It'd be an absolute travesty. That has to be like my lock.
I mean, out of what's on this list, and once again, FF7 Rebirth is the game I voted for Game of the Year. Absolutely love the game. Put a ton of time into it. Still, I think Senua's. I think Hellblade 2 is the one that should win this because they did
It has to.
interesting things.
What about now best performance too? That's another one that gets me because you got Melina Jurgens on there from Hellblade, but you also have my other favorite is Hannah Tell from Double Exposure, Life is Strange. Then you have uh, the Rebirth character,
Yeah, I've got to go with
Outlaws, and
Aerith.
Silent Hill 2.
I personally have to go with Aerith.
But I don't know. The thing is, like Melina's portrayal with the way she did it, with the way she was scanned into the game, because it's literally her body.
Right.
And as far as performance, remember it's not just voice acting. Hannah Tell did the voice acting in Life is Strange, and she did do some of the body scan, but it's it's not her. Like they scanned her face in it, but her face in the game is not her face in real life. They just put the beads on her, like the green suit, to to fill out where the actual character outlines would be. Melina that's her in the game.
Right.
It's not a character. That what you see is like what she looks like in real life, and she did all the fighting. So all the fighting in that game, she did. It's not a stunt double. It's not like they just like put her face on a character and like program the character to move and jump. If it's in the game and she jumped and did the flip, she did it. Now I didn't believe it at first, and I watched behind the scenes. She did the flip where like you jump and do the side rolls and like land.
Yeah.
It was incredible watching it. That alone to me, because none of the other nominees do that. Not Rebirth doesn't do that. Silent Hill 2, Luke Roberts kind of just walks around the whole game, right? He doesn't really do much. Outlaw is the lady. She's just running around. It's not even her. If you look
No.
at the character in
Uh,
Outlaws, it looks nothing like her. So that's why it has to be to me. It has to be Melina because she's the one that not only did she do everything, she did more than the other characters involved. She did that crazy ass fighting, which is absolutely insane.
right. I mean, I didn't play that much Hellblade. It's cool she did all that. Like they did that stuff back with like The Last of Us also. But I'm going with pure favoritism here. I'm gonna go with Aerith.
I don't know.
I mean, it's fine.
I can't do
Like
it.
we're allowed to disagree. That's what we're all about here. If we just agreed
Yeah,
on
the
everything, things would be interesting.
games for Impact is good.
What were the
What do we
games?
got? We got Double Exposure again. Hellblade 2 again. That
That's
Tales of Kinzera Zhao. That's gonna get blasted. That's not gonna win shit. That's the one. If you remember, the guy made that video about like the game about his home country, but he
yeah.
was like, and it sounded good, and people wanted to play it, And then when they were like pointing out bugs, they were like calling them racist for not liking the game. I'm like, dude, like you just killed like your whole people that wanted
Yeah.
to play the game. Um,
Like,
Close to the Distance with Skybound is art, and then the other one is like two more indie games. But of the two, like Life is Strange will always be nominated for Games for Impact, but this one should not win only
no,
because there's so
it,
much wrong with
it
this
should go
game.
with to Hellblade because of how well Hellblade
Absolutely,
tackles those.
and that's what's crazy. Think about that. Like not even just from my perspective. Like I said, when I reviewed it, we gave it a 10. But with the innovations it did in audio, it has to win that. Performance, that's when I can't think of another actor or actress in the game that did what Melina did in Hellblade. Not even if it's not one of the ones nominated, even if it's in a different game this year. Because if it's a voice actor, okay, it's a voice actor. It's a great performance. You did really well, like emphasizing the words. Or if you were like even Eve from Stellar Blade, they scanned the model into the game for her,
Mhm.
but they still augmented it. The way you see in the game is not exactly what she looks like in real life. She's still kind of the same, incredibly beautiful, but they augmented it a little bit. So Melina's the only one that did it all. And then narrative with the games, it's based in like a real life aspect of it, which another thing, I mean, how would you win best narrative one of the two and not win the other? Like how does one game win best narrative and then not win games for impact if it's nominated or vice versa? Like you would kind of have to win one. Like if you have the best narrative in a game, how do you beat another game that's nominated in the same category as best narrative? How do you lose to that game in games for impact? Like how does it have a better impact if it
I,
already won the awards or best? Like best narrative is the whole story and premise of the game. So if you win that award, how do you lose games? How do you have less of an impact than the other game? It makes no sense to me.
yeah, honestly, like that's one of those things where we just gotta see what the judges voted for and how much our votes actually matter.
Then you got ongoing game and community support. Ongoing game, I don't know what's going to win.
Uh,
There's best multiplayer. I think is going to be Helldivers 2
yeah.
because it started off so good, even though it fell off. But ongoing is probably because it's either Diablo 4 or Final Fantasy 14.
I don't know.
I don't think Helldivers. I don't think Helldivers is going to win best ongoing
No,
because it hasn't really done anything. It'll win best multiplayer,
I
but
think Diablo or Fortnite. Honestly, just because Fortnite's still so fucking
Fortnite, yeah, I
massive.
don't know. Community support is different. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of iffy.
Uh,
Independent game, it could be anything. Best debut indie game, it's going to have to be Balatro. I mean, you have the game nominated for Game of the Year.
yeah. And
How's it not
honestly,
going to win its own individual category?
people fucking love it. Like,
Yeah,
and I
and
get it.
best mobile game. Some of the other categories are stupid to me, like best VR AR. I don't care. Best action game. Now, look at these. We got Black Myth, Black Ops 2, Helldivers, Stellar Blade, and Warhammer 40,000. Now, that's another one. How does Black Myth not win Best Action Game when it's the only one of those five that's been nominated for Game of the Year?
Honestly, I really hope Stellar Blade wins this.
Oh, but
But no,
that's the thing. How would you? But how would you? Again, I know it's not you, but how would the people? It would only cause more. Think of the controversy that would cause. Be like, wait a minute, you nominated Black Myth, like so the same people that nominated Black Myth for Game of the Year and didn't put Stellar Blade on there decided that Stellar Blade was a better action game than Black Myth. Like that no. So then why not flop them? Or why not just put them both on there? Like that doesn't make sense to me. That would create a huge controversy,
yeah, I honestly, it's one
which
of
is
those
probably
things.
what's going to happen.
It's one of those things where like I would love because Jeff Gersman is one of the judges and he kind of touches on his podcast this week, but he
Hmm.
doesn't go in depth. And I'd love for like somebody to do an in depth look thing of like how does this all get weighed? Because it's basically like
Yeah,
you're a judge, you get handed a form, you fill out the form, you send it back, and the games that show up the most on the forms are the
right.
picks.
Yeah, now like the same thing on the next story, best action adventure. Okay. So it's Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Outlaws, Echoes of Wisdom, the new Zelda game, and Astrobot. So how does Astrobot not win that when it was the only one, its own category, when it was the only one in the category to, you
Uh,
know that's going to win that game.
honestly, I think Zelda's gonna win.
But how?
Nintendo
How?
stands
But then why not put it up for Game of the Year?
because they get the votes. That's
But that's not, but these are this, it's not like,
oh I
it's not like, it's not like the people put up the votes, like and then we as the gamers decide, because then that's where you would get the controversy. But the same people that decide the categories and what games are in what categories are picking the winners. They're 90% of the vote.
yeah.
So there's no way 10% of us as gamers are gonna beat out somebody. Unless it's like dead on 50-50,
Yeah,
like
I want
of the
Keeley to
vote
come
count per
out.
game. And all like the only way that could happen, seriously, is like say like it's half the people vote Zelda, and there's 130 people I think that vote outlets, right?
Yeah,
So 55 vote for Zelda, 65 vote for Astrobot, right? And then it's a split tie, but say every gamer votes for Zelda, and then I'll put it up the top. But I can't see it being anywhere near that
like
close because if it was, Zelda would have been nominated.
that's I just wonder how it all went. Like how it all scales out. Like is it like the judges pick what's in the categories that we vote for them and that's what wins the category, or because the judges could just go on here and vote too, on the website, and none of that's made very
Yeah,
clear to me.
yeah, and look at best RPG. Now, this is what annoying because Metaphor's list up there, um, like a Dragon, Rebirth, right? Rebirth nominated for Game of the Year, it's up there. Shadow of the Erd Tree, best RPG, it's a DLC, that's up there, right?
Right,
Metaphor is nominated for Game of the Year too, right?
right. So is
Yeah,
Rebirth.
so that's up there. So that's up there. So that's three of them, and the other one is Dragon's Dogma 2. Now the thing is, of those five, the only one I haven't played is Like a Dragon, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, so they
But
played the best one.
of the other three, Dragon's Dogma 2 is so much better than the other ones. The character creator, yeah, the story is not as good. It's still good, but it's not as lore deep. Elden Ring, there's nothing is, but that's a minor part of the game. The lore necessarily doesn't make the game.
Right,
Um, but Dragon's Dogma 2, it beat every record. It beat player counts. It beat pre-orders. It beat sale. It beat so much more but it's not going to win. It's going to get shut out. It's going to end up being like this year's um, crap, Hogwarts Legacy. Obviously for different reasons, but Hogwarts Legacy, the best-selling game of the year, didn't get a single nomination.
yeah.
It's got best RPG, but it's not going to win.
That's the problem. So the issue I have is like the judges are all a bunch of Silicon Valley types. It's people from GameSpot, IGN, those types of publications that are the judges that pick what goes in each category. So you take that because like
Yeah.
if these other games like
Yeah.
Metaphor should not be a game of the year now. I played it. I played quite a bit of it. I put like 12, 14 hours into the game already.
Right.
I beat Rebirth. I played quite a bit of Erdtree. I played quite a bit of Dragon's Dogma 2.
Mhm.
I've played every game on this list. And it's a pure simple case of like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's a good game. Really fun, great open world, fun
Mhm.
points of interest, good story. Dragon's Dogma 2, it's good. It's got good lore, it's got a good character creator, it's got those things.
Yeah.
It got kind of dry in the open world. Same problem Elden Ring has. Sometimes you're in the open world and it's just kind of dry. Like a Dragon, I know that's not going to... Nobody cares about the Yakuza games. That's why they come out every year and they sell like gangbusters. But Metaphor,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it doesn't belong on this
Look,
list.
same thing with Family Game, right? You got Princess Peach Showtime, Mario Party, Echoes of Wisdom, Zelda, Lucky Squire, and then Astrobot. So clearly Astrobot's going to win that.
Yeah. Because like,
How
what
does it
else are you
not?
going to vote for? I voted for Super Mario Party Jamboree because I think
Yeah.
it's important to test how strong your family bonds are.
One I'd actually like to see because none of them were nominated is the best sim or strategy game. Because you got good games. You got Frostpunk 2, Age of Mythology, Mana Lords, and Unicorn Overlord.
Oh, dude, Meta
So
Lords was
those are
so
all,
good.
but those are all good games, and none
Yeah,
of them were nominated for anything else. So I'm curious
dude,
to see how that plans out. Best sports, they combined sports and racing. I don't, was it like that last year?
I
I don't remember.
don't remember to be honest with you, but it would make sense. Honestly, I voted for
Okay, so
Topspin because I've always had fun with those games.
I mean, multiplayer is good. You got Helldivers 2, which I think that's going to win, unless Black Ops 6 beats it out because it's Call of Duty. But you got on top of that, you got Mario Party, Tekken 8, and Warhammer, and you Space Marine 2.
I mean, I know it's gonna go to Warhammer or Call of Duty. I'd like Tekken to win it, but nah.
For best multiplayer, you think it's going to beat out? I think Helldivers 2 would win it only because that like came out of the gate flying. And
It,
granted, it probably would have been better, but the only
it
reason it
did.
fell off is because
the
the uh
The problem is since it
the,
came out of the gate,
the
there was
developers and the Discord shit got messed up.
there was the PSN thing, then there was the
Yeah,
nerfing, then there was the other problems, and all those things are gonna
yeah,
stack against
exactly.
it. Where Warhammer and Black Ops are kind of just they're fresh in people's minds and people are still playing them.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. And I think it's pretty much it. Most anticipated game, which is going to have to
Yeah,
be Grand Theft
I
Auto
mean,
6.
dude, I've got to talk about it for a second. I know they're not your jam, but dude,
The other stuff I don't care about. The esports shit I don't care about.
well, I'm talking about best fighting. Like,
Yeah, but you're a Tekken guy,
dude, I'm a Tekken
right?
guy, but I played. Well, I haven't played Sparking Zero yet, but every other
Okay.
game on this list, Marvel's Capcom Collection Arcade Classics is on here, which is rad, but it's a classic collection. Multiverse already won Best Fighting Game a couple years ago. Grand Blue Fantasy, which
Mm.
it's a cool game. I really like Grand Blue Fantasy, and I'm glad that it's getting a nom and it could win it. I don't see why it couldn't.
Uh,
You know, I
did
mean,
you see the Golden Joystick Awards?
no,
They
I
they put
didn't.
out their awards. They put out they were doing like best categories. If you go to their page on X, they have like a separate post for every single category.
Ah,
And their ultimate game of the year was Black Myth.
honestly, that doesn't even surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know what other I can't remember what other games were nominated in the
Um,
categories. I was just scrolling through the winners of each one, and I saw that one because I wanted Dragon's Dogma 2 to win, but it didn't get anything from
I like Dragon's Dogma definitely deserves some love. Don't get me wrong. I I have a problem with open world games in general at this point
him.
because I think they're just we're doing too many of them.
Yeah, I mean the day night cycle in that game was great. How it would change, and you could rest to like day, morning, or night. I
All right.
love the way the whole game was set up. I loved it.
So I've got the winners for Golden Joystick pulled up.
All right, shoot,
All right. So
blow through these.
best audio design went to Astrobot.
Okay,
Best soundtrack FF7 Rebirth. Best storytelling once again Rebirth.
okay,
Best visual design Black Myth Wukong. Best
fair.
multiplayer game Helldivers. Best indie Bellatro. Best indie game self-published. That's a cool category. I like that exists. And it went to another Crab's Treasure, which if you haven't played, that game's awesome.
Okay.
I think it's still on Game Pass. It's just a fun little
Yeah,
Souls-like.
I didn't even know it was a category. That's a pretty cool category. I like
Yeah.
that.
Studio of the Year, Team Asobi, the Astrobot Studio. Best Lead
Right, that I saw.
Performer does not deserve this, in my opinion. Cody Christian, the guy who does Cloud in FF7.
Okay.
Best Supporting Performer, Brianna White, Aerith in FF7.
Mm-hmm.
Breakthrough Award, Bellatro. Still Playing Award, Console and PC. Minecraft. Still Playing Award, Mobile, Honkai Star Rail. PC Game. Hold on. PC Game of the Year, Satisfactory. Console Game of the Year, Helldivers. Most Wanted Game, GTA 6. Critics'
Right.
Choice Award, Helldivers. Best Game Expansion, Elden Ring.
Right.
Best Gaming Hardware, Steam Deck, awesome. Best Early Access Game, Lethal Company, facts. That game's fucking cool. Best Game Trailer, Helldivers 2. Streamer's Choice Award, Chained Together. Best Game Adaptation, Fallout, debatable. Ultimate Game of the Year, Black Myth Wukong.
Okay. Well, I mean, I saw. I didn't. what are the Game Awards for best adaptation? I forget. They're at the top.
Uh,
I'm looking at them there
best adaptation.
because I think Fallout should win based on who's
I
I got Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles from Sega, Like a Dragon, and the new Netflix Tomb Raider,
I've heard bad
which I didn't really.
things.
But of those, I mean, Fallout probably should win.
It'll go to Fallout or Arcane. I have no question. Knuckles was really good. Don't get me wrong. I really like Knuckles. I still haven't watched Like the Dragon Yakuza. I heard it's the
Yeah,
main game, the first game, just in a video
that's
format.
it. I'm curious to see what everybody listening is going to think of. You got to get that on
Yeah,
because I think that's what we do. I think we end it tonight and put it out on X and let everybody else know what they think about our picks.
yeah. Just
What do you think?
let us know. I mean, throw it in the YouTube comments. If you're on here, you're watching,
That's it.
throw it in the comments.
Yeah, that's it.
We could definitely use the
We're gonna have it.
analytics.
Yeah, we'll have the show up on X later. So if you listen in as well, we'll have that uploaded. It's live on the page. Make sure you like and subscribe to that as well too. Comment on X and comment on YouTube. Let us know what your
Yeah.
best games are and why you think we're right or wrong on different things. Let us know.
Tell me why I'm wrong. I know I am. I really like a Dragon.
Well, that's what we're so I gotta play it. I'm gonna play it just because
Dude,
everyone keeps saying it. I'll play it.
start with the old ones. Just start with Zero. I think they're all on fucking Game Pass.
Right? Yeah, I saw them. So
If you start with Zero, move into
I'm gonna jump
Kiwami
on them.
and up. Or you could just,
Yep.
if you want a turn-based game, just start with Like a Dragon and play Ichiban's story.
Good deal.
So,
All right, so yeah, I say we jump out of here.
yep,
We'll
yep.
tune in next time. We'll pick up next week with all the rest of the news after these Game
Sounds
Awards.
good. Let's see what the hell we get. Let's see what kind of shit show we run into this week.
That's it. All
All
right,
right.
take it easy, everybody.
See you
Snowball up.
guys.
Bye bye.